Right, so joining me now to mark the week is comedian Francis Foster and host of Trigonometry, the podcast, which I love. Right, Francis, talk to me about all of this. God, we're in a bit of a mess, aren't we? Of course, we kicked off with Martin Bashir. It's because I'm black.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't even realise Martin Bashir was black. And I don't actually know if that's because I'm a progressive, but I didn't even realise. I genuinely thought he was an Asian bloke. And then it transpired that his investigation and the whole Diana thing, that was dodgy. He got that interview through underhand means.
Yeah, that's right.
And was fired as a result. And now, many years after that whole debacle, he's now claiming it's racism. You can't backdate racism.
No, why didn't he say it at the time if that was the problem? But what would he say? He's the one that got the scoop. Is that because he's black as well?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't quite know what Martin is doing here. Maybe he's like, it's 2024 and everything can be blamed on racism, including my dodginess as a journalist, and the only reason I'm being fired is because of racism. It's like, mate, you've got to do better.
I know,
you need some tweets, mate. You need a few emails. You maybe need some microaggressions thrown in there. It's not working and it's not believable, and he looks even more ridiculous than he did before. If he'd just come out and said, you know what, I did get it through underhand means. I'm a BBC journalist. Hey, at least I've never groped anyone. We'd be like, you're one of the good guys.
Exactly. God damn it, let's not go down that dodgy route. God help us. And we're still carrying on with this obsession of net zero.
Yeah.
I mean, even though it is clear, obviously, with the steelworks, we won't be able to make our own virgin steel unless we can put hydrogen in the mix, and that technology apparently isn't available. They're going to make under 3,000 people roughly redundant, and maybe in how many years they'll have 34,000 or however more jobs. I mean, is this a nonsense?
It is a nonsense, and I'll tell you why it's a nonsense. Because we still need steel, we still need gas, we still need all of these natural resources. So what we're going to say is, well, we're not going to do it because we're holier than thou. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to import it from India or from other countries, and on top of that, we're going to have to pay for the transportation costs. And that's got a huge carbon footprint.
Exactly.
So what is actually happening is we're pretending to be virtuous and then getting the third world to produce it while going, look how nice and great we are.
Yeah, it's absurd, isn't it? I don't understand, but at least, I mean, that was Jacob Rees-Mogg. I think he was in Sheffield. Yeah. And they, obviously, the people in this country aren't buying into it.
No.
Why would you want one? I don't want an electric car. I don't fancy it. I'm not into it. I don't want it. I think it's ridiculous. It's laughable.
Look, for me, look, I don't think there's anything wrong with an electric car. But I just think this demand and this desire for net zero targets, all it does is it impacts the most vulnerable people. It drives bills up. It drives so many of the prices that we're now experiencing up. People are struggling, and you're going to take away their jobs. It's completely nonsensical just so you can brag about a net zero target and then get someone with dark skin in the third world to produce it. And
have children sort of mining cobalt and lithium in mines. And, it's just ridiculous. It's rank hypocrisy. What about Joe Biden there? Because, of course, I just love Trump's comment. Because I do feel that Joe Biden has brought us to the brink of almost World War III.
I think that's quite unfair, because I don't think Joe Biden knows where he's brought us anyway. Do you know what I mean? He's got no idea.
He hasn't, has he?
He's got no idea. They just basically prop him up there with sticks, and then he goes up and then just delivers some kind of scat jazz improvisational performance. Women, progress, and you're like, great, mate. I mean, he's happy, you know? Actually, look, a lot of people at that age, they're being put into homes which I don't agree with. They're isolated. He's got a purpose. He's having a whale of a time.
Oh, he does. You know what? That's the truth. He doesn't know. And I think it is ironic that Trump should be the one. Everyone was worried about Trump having his hand on the button ready to press it. But this guy... He's seriously, you don't want Joe Biden anywhere near that.
No, you don't want him, because he won't press a button, but he might fall on it and then start World War III like that. The guy can't ride a bike. How's he going to be able to push a button? You're like, Joe, what? I'm there. And then before you know it, there's a rocket heading towards China.
I know. It's frightening, and I don't know whether Trump would be better. I prefer Trump to Joe if you gave me the options. But whilst Trump was the president, there were no world wars, or he didn't start any anyway.
No, he just started them on Twitter.
Yeah, well, that was fine. Twitter's fine. You can do that on Twitter. But now I'll bring you to this lackadaisical kind of immigration policy, which enables people who have come here by legal means to claim asylum And then, of course, we're so worried about their own sort of personal whatever. This guy has already had one sexual offence, and then he claims he's Christian, so now he can stay, because otherwise, if he goes back, he'll be persecuted. I mean, where do we go with this?
Well, what it actually exposes is that we don't have control of our borders.
Yeah.
We don't have control over who can and who can stay and who should stay, and quite frankly, who should leave. If you are a visitor to this country, if you're an immigrant and you sexually assault someone, you need to be gone. I think most people, left, right, centre, would actually agree with that. But we've got to the point now where someone can sexually assault someone, a very, very serious crime, then say that they're a Christian, so then Jesus washes away all their sins, and that then leaves him to carte blanche to go and commit this absolutely horrific attack using a highly corrosive substance.
Terrible.
What people don't know is that a strong alkali is actually more dangerous than a strong acid. Acid just sounds worse, but an alkali is very, very strong and deeply corrosive and can create life-threatening injuries. And he's just been allowed to get away with it. It is wrong, it's heartbreaking, and the reason why people have connected so strongly with this story is because it's not just about the story, deeply troubling though it is it fundamentally exposes what is going wrong within our immigration system.
Yeah, and I really don't know. I'm concerned with a Labour government that they won't do much of a better job, but then I don't know whether you can do much worse.
No.
Really, to be honest.
Well, look, you know, people go, oh, you know, Suelas was tough on immigration, Pretty was tough. They weren't. All they did was came out and then basically talked a lot, and then the left got really upset, and then nothing changed. In some ways, the left would be better, because at least they're not going to pretend.
Well, I think that they might turn out to be a little bit like the right when they actually get to the helm and realise how bad things are, because we have a broken immigration system. We don't know who's here.
Yeah.
When we do find out who's here, we then lose them. So we've got
Yeah.
about 17,000 people who we don't know, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. And we've still got the issue with people coming across via dinghies. I just don't understand why somebody hasn't really taken a real handle on this.
Well, absolutely, and this shows how terrible things are. Is that you've got a man wandering around who has done this very, very serious crime. He has sexually assaulted someone. He has got what looks like burns on his face. He basically looks like Harvey Two-Face.
Yeah.
And we can't find him. And we can't find him. I mean, he's not that easy. He's not that difficult to spot, is he?
So, you know, so either somebody's harbouring him or he maybe has committed suicide. I don't know. Sometimes people do these things. Or perhaps he's managed to get across the border. The way things are, we don't appear to have any control of it.
No, we don't have any control. The police don't seem to have any control. They can't locate him. It just shows that everything in this country is a shambles. You can, quite frankly, do whatever you want, including sexually assault someone, and no one is going to tell you to get out.
No.
That's where we are.
That's where we are. Well, is there anything...
It was meant to be comedy.
Yeah, well, this is comedy. Harry and Meghan.
Yeah, there we go. Let's go. Harry, please divorce Meghan. That way we've all got something to laugh about.
Oh, bless him. No, Harry. She's probably a very nice woman.
She probably is.
Yeah.
Look, this is the thing. He's punching above his weight and he knows it.
Yeah, I think that's where we'll leave it. Francis Foster, when are you back on Headliners?
Oh, tonight.
Tonight, Headliners.
Yeah.
Nice one. All right, well, make sure you join Francis for Headliners